Okay, so I'm recording some programming sessions. I want to record some projects that I want to work on. The idea being that when I record the sessions, I will be explaining some of the things that I'm doing as I do them for people to follow along, whether there's people there or not. I have a feeling that the fact that there's something recording and that I'm doing some explanation will help me to learn as I go. And who knows, maybe I'll publish these and maybe there's someone who feels like following along. So the project I'm going to go for is to create a programming language. It's going to be heavily inspired, I would say, by Odin. I haven't actually used Odin yet. So I'm going to be programming in Odin to get inspiration as I go. And just for a little starter, I'm going to make a ridiculously basic language using Odin. I'm going to do an interpreter and a compiler for this really basic language just to get a hold of Odin, learn a little bit about how stuff works in Odin, get a bit more familiar with it. I don't think I'm going to use any really advanced features, just some basic stuff to start with. So yeah, I'm going to need to set up Odin first, and then I watched a video making a programming language and interpret it in under 10 minutes by bvdl.io. If I do publish this, I'll be sure to put a link in the description. Here is the GitHub repo. So I'm not sure, he's written it in Python, the interpreter, and I think I'll go to his code if I'm getting a little bit lost and I want to figure something out. But generally, I know the basics of how this language works. This is reading from the console. And it's a stack-based language, so we're going to read two values and then subtract. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. We're reading two values, and when we read them onto the stack. So this will push whatever we put into the console onto the stack, then do it again. Then a subtract will just pop the last two things off the stack, subtract them both, and then I imagine it will push the answer back on. Then we have a jump to a label. There's L1. So I mean, it's a super basic language. It's barely above assembly, I feel like. These are very assembly feeling. It's almost like instructions, It's a bit more abstract than that, We're not having to specify registers and things. But that's probably because we're only using the stack. So then, yeah, so we can jump if equal to 0 over here, and say the value is equal. We print that to the screen and then end the program. Otherwise, print that they're not equal and end the program. And he's got a couple of other examples here, but I think this is the most simple one. So first things first, I'm going to install Odin. I use CLion as the IDE that I use. So I have seen that there is a CLion plugin for Odin. So I'm going to install that. I imagine then I will need to grab the Odin binary and point CLion into it. And then hopefully I can write a little bit of code and run it just to see that it's working. And then we'll jump into this. He's called it OLL, our little language. I think I'm going to call it barely a lang because it's barely a language. Like I was saying before, it's barely more abstract than assembly, but a nice place to start. So let's go into CLion. I've got another project open here at the moment, but we'll just ignore that. Let's go to settings. Where's the plugins? Plugins. And we should be able to search here somewhere for Odin. Odin support install. Accept. Installed. Great. That was easy. So let's make a new project. New project. I don't want it there. I want it in my software folder. Is that the right name? Yeah, software. Intectum. And let's say Langs. I think I'm going to make a Odin. Oh, okay, let's start again. Software and Intectum, which is my brand, I guess you could say. Langs, and then, like I was trying to say, I'm going to make a kind of a monorepo for languages. Not that I intend to do a lot of languages, but I'll put this one in there, and then we'll move on to something a little more interesting. I have an idea in mind. I don't think I'll go into it right now, but we'll move on to that, and we'll put it in the same repo. So now if I do create, is it going to complain that there's no SDK? Where would you like to open the project? This window, please. Okay, so it's made a source folder and a main.odin. Hi, Mom. That's nice. No Odin SDK has been set up for this project. That's what I thought. So we're going to go to the website, download. They say that they do have it in some packages, but I don't think I saw Debian. So I'm using Ubuntu, so I didn't see Debian or Ubuntu there. So I'm just going to grab one of these official releases. Don't really need a nightly build, just a release will be quite fine. Ubuntu, perfect. Download that. Then we can go downloads. Don't worry yourself with those perfectly legal other items in here. Oh, did I not just, okay, a tar within a zip. Not quite what I expected. Odin, that looks promising. Okay, let's extract that out to here and be gone with all these crazy folders. I'm just going to leave it here for now. So there's my path. Go to CLion and say, here's my path, and it is happy. Now it says it's a nightly, even though I thought I went for a release. Whatever. I don't really know what's going on here. I'm happy to use the default debugger, blah, 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 blah. Apply, okay. Why are you still saying that? Is there something I'm missing? Oh, no, it's gone now. So let's make an Odin Would it be Odin build? I guess. Project directory is not set. Can I just put a dot? This folder. Project directory is not set. What is all this stuff? Okay. What if I just put that there and run? Come on. Come on, man. Do I have to put it in both places? What's do I have to specify an output path? Can we just ignore that? Output path not set. About ./build. What was it before? Just bin. Project directory not set. Empty directory that contains no Odin files. So feels a bit weird, but can we do that? Clang not found. It wants to use Clang. Okay. What's the way to install Clang? Can I just go sudo apt install Clang, or am I being silly? It's looking promising. libclang, libc, libgc. I feel like linker tools, LLVM. Yeah, that's got to be the right. I thought it could have been, just some other random thing called Clang, but apparently it was the right thing called Clang, which is great. So now I can run that. Hi, Mom. Okay. Wow. That's kind of cool. So that's our first. Oh, I see. Bin. Okay. So compiler options. Can I say source? I have a bit of a play here now. So if we say bin/test, run that, empty directory. It just feels a bit weird, doesn't it, to have I'm sure Odin, if I go to the terminal, if I just go directly to the terminal instead of trying to use this fancy, okay, sure. And I just say, Odin, not found. I can do an apt install Odin? Interesting. I thought I didn't see it in the packages. What is it wanting to install? A whole bunch of shit that I don't really, if I'm honest, know what the hell it is. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Okay. Odin. Whoa, 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 whoa. Geometry info? This is not the right Odin. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Okay. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff that would be good to auto remove now. All right. So really we want to go, whoa. That doesn't look like a tilde. What's happened here? Okay. So we go to downloads, Odin something something. Why do I have a .idea in there? That's interesting. Wait, what? Ah, there's a directory. Ah, I know it's a directory. I wanted to cd to it. That's why there's a .idea, because it's my folder. How about that? Okay. So here is Odin. Same as build, but also then runs the new compiled executable. Great. Give me some help with that. Builds and runs package in current directory. Builds and runs package in dir. Yeah, see, so that's what I was trying to do over here. Specify the source directory, which then I thought would find that file. But I don't know what's going on with these folders, might be causing confusion. So what if I do run source? Run expects a package. Compiles directory of Odin files as an executable. One must contain the program's entry point. All must be in the same package. So I've got package main. This is the entry point, I guess, if you just have a procedure called main. I don't know if it's got to be in the main package. Maybe. Same as build, but then it runs newly compiled file. So, just do // No. What if I do a build? Tells it to treat a file as a self-contained package. Expected either a directory or a dot. Ah, of course. Okay, I'm doing this all wrong. So I need to go to software. Actually, I should probably just close this and open a new terminal. That's where I need to be. So I was right to do this before. Odin, run, source. Hi, Mom. Okay, there we go. Let's not worry about this for now. I think this is nice here, just runs in the terminal. Okay, so time to do something actually interesting. Let's get rid of this, we can get rid of this. So we want this file. We can put that in directory barely source. New file. Test01 dot, what's our extension? Barely a lang. It's a bit verbose, but let's just call it barely. I always like to have a new line at the end. Okay, so we have that. That's our file. Maybe we can put this over here. So we want to read this, which is why I did have this open, because I noticed there was this, which looks like it's reading a file, which was something I was unsure about. So we probably need core OS, is it? There we go. And we want, I guess it's dot dot slash barely source barely test01 dot barely. Actually, I guess we do want format, don't we? I prefer, maybe I'm going to get controversial here, but if I go to editor, code style, do I get an Odin? Yes, I do. Spaces. Do I not get to choose? I mean, I guess this is a third party thingamawhat's, isn't it? I'll fix that another time. I like to have 2 spaces, not 4. I feel it's overly indented, but whatever. So what is it? Format dot. Let's just undo all this. Format dot printline. Format dot print line. Can't find barely source. Okay, let's run that. Oh yeah. What we actually want to do is just go to the terminal. Can't find barely source. Okay. So actually it's the langs folder that we're running it in. So it should be this. Okay, so I found it. We're deferring the closure of it. And let's see. os.open. So do we want like os.read or something? Read entire file. What error? Let's go read entire file if. And I guess that will be barely source, and I think it's :enter is the syntax. Seems not very happy. Assignment count mismatch. Okay. Read entire file from file name from handle. Oh, okay. Interesting. So this is like, I do remember this. He has explicit overloading of functions, procedures. So read entire file could call this or this depending on what arguments you give it. I'm doing file name, and I have a feeling, okay, so data and success. Are the two returns. Can't read barely file. So I guess we should just like return if we fail to read. And now let's try printing the barely source. Well, that doesn't look like what I wanted it to look like, I have to admit. So it did say that this is returning bytes, an array of bytes, which is an alias of U8. Interesting. That's kind of what I was thinking with mine. I can specify an allocator, lock caller location. I don't know what that means. And the name, of course. So, and it's called read entire file. Read entire file. Okay. All right, looks like we're going to have to go to Google. Odin read file as text. Yeah, this is going to be string data. That's probably what it is. But our data is our barely source. That's more like it, is our program. Okay, so we've read our program. Now I'm going to do some really basic parsing, right? I think basically I'm going to I think there is a strings. So I think I'm just going to go like strings that have like split. Split it. Can I just specify a character? So I want to split it on the new line. And say lines equals that. going to convert to string from untyped rune. Wow. Okay, I guess it has to be a string. We don't need to print that out anymore. Don't need brackets in this language. Might take a bit to get used to. So for line in lines, I think is it. Then I guess I get the first token. Okay, so we kind of want to split by space, but obviously then we've got this quotes. So maybe not quite a split by space. We want to grab everything up until a white space character. So strings dot, so like index, strings dot index, space, s substring. Okay. Again, it's a string, not a character. So I want to say that the space index is that, and then maybe I will just print all the space indexes and see what happens there. I'm not sure I'm going to get what I want. Okay, so -1 because there's not any, and then that one is 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So maybe I can do substring. Actually, let's go strings dot substring. No. I want to keep the space index. But then I think, oh, I've mixed up my conventions, haven't I? I want to go underscore. Use camel case at work. So I want to go substring line up until the space index. Substring string start end. So I guess it's like that. So let's print out our opcodes. I'm curious how it's going to handle the -1. What is our issue? Assignment count mismatch. Okay, so there's a lot of that going on, isn't there? Okay, so it kind of just seems to be like an empty string. Which is not what I want. So if the space index equals -1, okay, the space index equals -1. I just want the line. Otherwise, I want the first word from the line. And that doesn't work because I'm assigning these two things. So I can't do this ternary here, can I? I can't just like ignore the second return. It seems like I can't ignore the second return. Because we can do, so I should be maybe explaining a bit more. In Odin, we can have multiple return values to a function. So substring here, you can see substring is a const procedure that takes these parameters and returns these values. So there's two return values. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go like that, and I'm going to say if maybe it's just len. If len opcode equals 0, opcode equals line. I'm just going to chuck that on one line like that. And we don't need the brackets. Do I have to do it? Do I have to do brackets? Maybe not, but this is the way we've made it work. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's got my opcodes. So now that we've got the opcode, we say if, always put in the brackets, if len of opcode still equals 0, continue, because we don't care about that line. And then if opcode equals read, now we want to read from the command line. Okay. News, overview, got procedures, basic types. I don't know if this guide, advanced types, how long have we been going for? 40 minutes. I've got some advanced types, that's not what I'm looking at. I don't think. Slices, dynamic arrays, enumerations. This all seems to be language features, not, but what I want is, yeah, packages, I think. I think it's the core library found, core library, fuzzy search. Okay, so what I want to search for is input, OS, OS in, OS.standard in. Oops. OS.standard in. os.read. These are file descriptors. I think these oh no, I think standard in is also a handle, eh? Oh, you pass in the thing to read with. Okay. So we want to declare data, which is an array of bytes. This is a slice of bytes, which is what it wants. I don't know if that's going to work though. Then maybe I can do format.println and put, what was it I used before? Just a string, like a string constructor kind of thing. So it didn't wait for me to input anything, did it? Maybe I can search for it. Odin standard in. I can't print. So os.read standard in buffer. So I think that's converting it to a slice. And honestly, I don't know what slices are. I need to look that up. So that's an array of 256 bytes. And then, did he just use read? Yeah, just read. So I can't pass this in because it's expecting a slice. So I go like that to convert it to a slice. Cannot cast data as string from array of viewants, which is what this guy is complaining about, I think. So is this data, and then you need to put in the amount. Oh, okay, so that printed it out. All right. Well, not number, is it? So can I take that string and convert it? Okay, Odin convert string to int. String convert decimal to string. Okay, core striconv. Core striconv Then I go strconv dot parse yeah, why not 64-bit integer, and I guess I need to actually pass in a string, do I? What's going on here? So then we have our integer. Oh, something like that. There's probably something like that, and then print out our int. So it seems like that worked. And what do we do with that number? We want to put it on the stack. So we need to create a stack. And I think I'm just going to stay really simple with this. And maybe I can make a dynamic i64 array. Oh. The type of variable stack cannot be inferred as a type does not have. Oh, I think I need to do this. Because it's not, this is kind of declaration assignment. It's like declaration assignment. You can just do assignment with the equals. That's like a declaration assignment, and this is just straight up declaration. So stack allocator, because I can do len stack, requires that its results must be handled, so it's a thing. So how do I add to a dynamic array? That's what I would like to know. Let's get rid of these. So I think that's where we would actually like to go back to the docs, to the overview, and I'm pretty sure we had dynamic arrays, appending to a dynamic array. Append. Okay. Ampersand. I wonder if that's like address of or. Append lm array is a pointer to. So I think that's why we take the address. So when we read, we take the value. So this program, I think, is just assuming it only supports 64-bit integers. That's it. Ridiculously big. Well, I guess the 64-bit integer is big. Okay. So I think if okay, we push the int. So I guess this if not okay. We can can say invalidate. And can we just say exit? Oh, where's dot exit? Okay. Invalidate. Okay. So I think that should be just a dynamic array as our stack. Easy. So now we should be able to go else if, and let's have a look at what our program has. Sub. So if it's sub, I'm sure there must be some sort of removing from a dynamic array. Pop. Perfect. So I think all we want to do is go A, B, and okay, actually let's say BA, because this is the last one we put on the stack. This is the first one we put on the stack, because we're popping in the opposite order that we appended. So then we can naturally go A minus B. And then we can append C. Great, so that's our sub. Now, we have a jump equals 0. So here we can say so here I guess we pop and then we say if A equals 0, then we need to jump. So we say label equals we have the space index. So line, no, we need to go strings.substring line space index. Is there an OK I need to deal with? Yeah. Okay. Substring and then length of the line. If not OK, label not provided. So actually, something I would like to do, I can just do this. That's so nice. I can do that. Call it the line index. So with these errors within here, I can say line, and then I think it's like %s, no, percent, what is this? I mean, I guess it's an unsigned int. So label not provided. Then we can say, so we've got the label now. Now we can say jump to label is a string. Jump to label. And so then we say jump to label equals label. And I think maybe right at the top here, before we try any other codes, we need to say strings dot, do we have an strings dot ends with has suffix so if the opcode has a suffix colon, we know it's a label. And the label is strings dot substring. Probably need to go like that. Opcode, length of opcode -1. And what's the problem? Okay. If not okay, let's say I don't know why this would happen, because we just confirmed that it has a suffix of a colon. So if our substring is, a substring length -1. So it could only be a problem if, I guess potentially if the string was empty. But since it has a suffix of that, I guess the label could potentially be empty. So maybe we can say if not okay or label equals the empty string. I don't know if we can just say not label. No, let's just say empty string. Then we can say invalid label. And now we can say, let's just assume the label has to be after the jump for now. I think we're going to have to work on that later, but it will work for this. So if label equals jump to label, So I think actually what I'm going to have to do is put this in here, and then I say if jump to label has a value. So it's a string, so it's, I mean, imagine it's either an empty string or it's a full string. There's not anything else it can be. I hope. I don't think there's any null or anything going on there. So what I'm trying to say here, if I take a step back, we're going through the lines of the program and we're checking what sort of opcode we have. At some point, we're going to find an opcode which is a jump. And if we meet the condition, we're going to say that we want to jump to that label now. And now we continue to iterate through the lines of the program. And our label is not empty to jump to, so we go here. And because these are all else ifs, we don't go to these. Yeah, we don't go into these. So we're not going to execute these programs until we get to the label. So that'll get skipped, that'll get skipped, that's just nothing. And then we find the label. So if label equals jump to label, I think we just say jump to label equals empty and continue. No, I don't think we even need to do continue, do we? We just clear out the jump to label because we've done the jump now. We can continue to do this. So now we just have two more commands to do. So let's go print, which should pop something off the stack and then print it. Format.println A. And then halt. No, it prints this. Okay, sorry, it does not do that. It does not pop. It prints so where did we get, this is where we got a label, so we're going to have to do something similar to that. Let's keep our print line, we're going to have to change it. But so here is our message. Actually, it's going to be space index +1 because we don't want to include the space. We'll say if, yeah, it's not okay, then we did it because we didn't provide a message. You know, the substring failed. Then we should better print the message. And then lastly, if we find a halt, then we return because we are just in a for loop in the main function. So in theory, that should run the program. So if we say 5, that didn't go well. Invalid int at line %u0. I guess we should do line index +1 because, you know, lines, it's not only line indices, it's line numbers, isn't it? Printf line, print format line. I think that's what it is. Invalid int at line. I think it's trying to say that it's an int, and I tried to format an unsigned int. Okay, invalid int at line 1. So that's not what I was expecting. So let's print this first. So we're printing out of 5. And then if I do print line int, we're also printing out of 5. If I say int percent I, so why is it not okay? If not okay, invalid int. Can I do percent %b or something? I mean, the format didn't work, but it's showing me that it's false. That's not what I want to see. That's not what I want to see at all. Maybe prefixed. Or if the input string contained more than just a number. Or you can choose the base and not have to prefix. So can I see here how much total red? So then should be able to just slice to a read count like that, right? Oh, like that. Read okay, comb okay. Failed to read. Oh, wait a minute. Error. You know what, I'm just going to ignore that and assume that it works. Which is probably a bad idea. Read count 2. Should I be doing read count -1? Okay. 5, 4 not equal. 3, 3 equal. Wow. So I guess it contains a new line at the end. I needed to account for that. I don't know what to do about this error, but my program works. Okay, I think that's enough for today. I hope it made sense. I don't think I explained enough. I should have been explaining more, I think, my thought process. I'm still a bit confused about how all this Odin stuff works. I mean, I just used a dynamic array, but because I couldn't be bothered trying to figure out the proper size, but it seems like it worked perfectly as a stack, because I can append and pop. Yeah, great. So now I've taken out that debugging. It should be just 7 and 78 are not equal, but 78 and 78 are equal. Ah, but I have the quotes. Okay. I have the quotes. So really, should be something like that to remove the quotes. Equal. Okay. Perfect. One program running.